got tons of talent, and they're playing great. They've always got tons of talent. I just told you that. And Clemson is just, they have not been impressive. They've been good. They've been winning, but they haven't been impressive. And so because of that, as much as I don't want to see this happen, because I want to say I've got a chance I'm likely to get 3 of the 4 playoff teams that I predicted pre-season at the beginning, week 1 of the college season. I want to say 3 of my 4 Final Four teams are going to be correct if things hold true. That would require Clemson winning. I picked Clemson winning the ACC and being in the playoffs. That being said, I have a feeling about this matchup in this game, and I think North Carolina is going to beat Clemson, and it wouldn't even surprise me if they get out to a lead in the first half by about 2 possessions, and that's kind of how the whole rest of the game plays out, with Clemson trying to catch up from a 2 to 3 possession deficit and just never quite being able to overcome it. So I'm predicting in an upset that North Carolina wins that game. So there you go. My predictions for your huge 6 games are: let's predict Texas upsets Baylor, since Baylor's devastated off of last week's loss. They're a 20.5 point favorite, and Texas has played a few good games this year. Let's just go Texas to be up, Baylor to be down, and boom, Texas in a huge close upset. Then we've got Temple, Houston, picking Houston big time in that one. Alabama, Florida for the SEC, Alabama big time. USC, Stanford for the Pac-12 in the upset. For the Big Ten, I am picking Michigan State to hand Iowa their first loss and make it to the Final Four playoffs. And then finally, for the ACC, I am picking 10th ranked North Carolina to upset number 1 ranked Clemson. Now, should these things happen, here's your couple other teams that we'll be watching with great interest that might still have a chance at getting in the playoffs, but right now are on the outside looking in. So the polls right now, teams that still have some kind of chance, whether it be extremely slim, 1 in a million, so you're telling me there's a chance, or we're fairly good. We got Clemson, number 1. It's quite simple. Clemson wins, they're in. Same with Alabama at number 2. Win and they're in. Oklahoma at number 3 is pretty much the one team that's guaranteed, like I said, because they're not playing this week. They're going to be, the 2, the 3, or the 4 seed. Almost certainly. There is a slim chance they could be the 1 seed, but I doubt that. Then you've got Iowa holding on at number 4, and Michigan State at number 5. The winner of that game should be the number 4 seed, okay? So it should go Clemson, Alabama, Oklahoma, and then Michigan State after they beat Iowa. However, should Alabama and or Clemson, more likely Clemson, lose, then, if it opens up 1 spot, it does not go to the loser of the Big Ten championship game. The loser of the Big Ten championship game is out, period. As is Ohio State, I believe. North Carolina, should they beat Clemson and win the ACC, they're going to make a bid for that 4th and final spot, as well as Stanford would, should they beat USC and win their division. And then, Notre Dame would have a small outside argument that they could make. I don't think it would be a very good one. And then Florida State, for, again, inexplicably, I'm assuming they're banned, under some sort of punishment. So should Clemson lose, or Alabama, depending on which one of that happens, your 2 primary teams that could squeak back in that aren't in the picture right now would be Stanford, would be your top pick, or North Carolina, should they be able to pull off the upset, as I am boldly, balls deeply predicting. That's right, not predicting. I don't predict, I predict. But alright, so that is it officially for the spew. Wow, 90 minutes of nothing but football. We're going to squeeze in as much balls dribbled, balls on ice, and what other quickies we can real quick. But yeah, for the most part, we got a medium amount of football, basketball, and hockey to discuss, and then just a few quickies before Balls Deep Thought of the Day. P.S. It is just over. There are 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter of the Detroit Lions versus Green Bay Packers game. Detroit Lions currently have the ball. They just advanced it to almost midfield, and they are winning by 2 points. What a laser. How did he even catch that? Did it go through the defender's arm, like literally, like where it turned transparent? My gosh, what a throw. What a catch. Phenomenal coverage. What a play. Wow. Eat some clock here. Yep, hand off the ball. 2-minute warning. 2nd and 10. Detroit up by 2. All right, so check in on a final with that for you in just a moment. Again, thanks for listening. We're on Spreaker, SoundCloud, and YouTube only this week. TuneIn app and WNLMradio.com are down. However, they will be back up in just a couple weeks. Like and friend me on Facebook, search Scotty-Ball, or follow the show on Twitter at BDST Show to stay up to date with all of the show news as well as other sports news and me personally. All right. But before we get to basketball and hockey, why don't we touch on the big baseball signing real quick and get that out of the way. Yay, baseball! All right, so there was a huge free agent signing in Major League Baseball this past week, and I've definitely got thoughts on it. Hopefully you do too. Please let me know what they are via the social media sources that I just promoted a moment ago. But anyway, star pitcher David Price, who started out the season for the Detroit Tigers and then was traded to the Toronto Blue Jays, was the runner-up in the American League Cy Young voting this year, formerly of the Tampa Rays, where he got most of his fame. He signed a 7-year contract with the Boston Red Sox. No surprise that the Boston Red Sox would go out and get themselves an arm like that one they got on that David Price. What did it cost them? Oh, just $210 million. $30 million a year for the next 7 years. They committed to paying a guy who is going to play in 20% of their games. No more. Maybe even less than that. He will play in a maximum of 20 to 25, but I mean more likely the range would be he will play in 15 to 25% of their games over the next 7 years, and they have committed $30 million a year to him to do that. Boy, if there was a salary cap in baseball, this would be as dumb a move as you can get. I don't expect it to pay off immediately, if ever. Now, if they are simply looking at this as a building block to help them get back to being a winning record team and a playoff team, but they're willing to give that some time, and they're not expecting him to be the reason they get a championship or anything like that, then it might work out okay for them. But that's a lot of money to pay one guy who, like I said, is playing in about 20% of your games every year. Just doesn't make sense to me, especially when you consider how terrible his entire career has been in the postseason. His regular season statistics are phenomenal throughout his career. His postseason numbers are dreadful. He doesn't win games in the postseason. And ultimately, that's all the Boston Red Sox fans and organization cares about, is winning another championships. They've become a spoiled East Coast Boston team now, forgotten what it's like to be an underdog, go years, decades without championships anymore. They think they deserve one every 5 years, like they're the Yankees or something. Well, you're not the Yankees, and the Yankees don't deserve one every 5 to 10 years for that matter either. They've gotten 26, 27, almost 30 of them. They can chill out for like the next 30 years. If the Yankees didn't win another World Series title in the next 30 years, they would still have twice as much or more as the second place organization. So, but that's the attitude the Red Sox have developed. And like I said, they're gonna hate this unless they're patient with it, unless they continue to throw tons of money out at other big name people and build an entire team. Because this one move is not going to accomplish anything for them. But again, as part of many moves and a process that transpires over an entire off-season set of couple off-seasons and things of that nature, then it might have a chance. But so there's some baseball talk. Record-setting 7-year, $210 million contract for pitcher David Price. I mean, good for him. Good luck, Boston. All right. So moving on and keeping it fairly quick, we'll go to hockey. Minnesota Wild played tonight at home against the very lowly Toronto Maple Leafs, and they won that game by an impressive score of 1-0. You gotta love it anytime you see a shutout. You always want to see your team score more than one goal. But again, we shut them out 1-0, so it didn't matter. We won the game, and that, of course, is 2 nights after we beat the Chicago Blackhawks in Chicago by a score of 2-1. That was huge. We were following a 3-game losing streak. We had 2 3-game losing streaks, as a matter of fact, that were interrupted by a shutout win against the Predators. So we go back to November 14th. We had a loss to the Stars, then a loss to the Penguins, then a loss to the Bruins. Then we had a shutout 4-0 shutout win against the Predators. Then a loss to the Canucks, a loss to the Jets, a loss to the Stars. Now we finally got back. We got a win against the Blackhawks, our daddy, and a win against the lowly Maple Leafs. We've got 2 games in a row coming up against the Colorado Avalanche, who get up for us. They are a rival of ours, but they're not a very good team, in recent history or this year for that matter. We have them at home on, it appears to be Saturday night, at 7 p.m. And then again on Monday in Colorado. That one is at 8 p.m. So hopefully we can, be their daddy, get those 2 wins. Then we're in Phoenix playing the Coyotes like a day after the Vikings play the Cardinals there too. So huge, if you're a Minnesota sports fan in the state of Arizona, get some tickets and hit up multiple sporting events featuring Arizona teams and Minnesota teams this coming next week. So yeah, schedule gets a little favorable, a little soft. Might be able to build some momentum, have a good 4-5 win streak heading into San Jose against the Sharks on the 12th. All right, let's see what else we got. Pominville finally, since we last spoke, Pominville has scored, and he has scored more than once. What the hell happened in that football game? I swear they were running down the clock. Oh my gosh, it was like 16 seconds left. Packers were losing, and somehow they came back. What? Hold on just a second. I gotta check this crap out. Jeez. So, well, anyway, okay. Let's finish hockey talk, and then we'll do that. Pominville finally breaks his scoring drought. Unbelievable. Oh, geez, here we go. Final play of the game: a 70-yard Hail Mary. Rodgers throws it up. Some dipstick, number 82. Comes down with it. He's wearing green and gold. There's 5 Detroit Lions defenders back there around the play, and all 5 of them are behind the receivers, not in between, not one person in between a receiver and the ball. He's just standing there. He just jumps in the air, and he just catches the ball. It's easy. That was one of the easiest Hail Marys I have ever seen in my life. Detroit throws the game away, loses to the Packers on the final play via Hail Mary touchdown pass. 27-23 is your final score. Packers win. Stupid frickin' kitties. Are you kidding me? That is, oh my gosh. Ugh. Okay, so, sorry. Appropriately finishing out hockey, let's take a look at the standings real quick. All right, in our beloved Central Division.